Dear Nana, thank you for letting me come to camp. They are really nice group of people. Thank you so much. I'm learning so much. I love you, Tim. Please write back.
Manchester Emergency.
Hi, 911 Agent 145, Rebecca on the line at 168 Valley Street, first floor.
I was a patrol sergeant. I was assigned to the midnight shift. It was a Friday into Saturday morning. It had been a pretty nice night. I can remember clearly, it was a nice, clear night. I'd been busy like every other Friday night, and then the call came in for Valley Street. When I got to the actual apartment door, I could hear crying coming from within the apartment, so I made my way towards where I heard the crying coming from. My responsibility is to coordinate everything that's going on. That would be, the security of the scene, trying to locate the suspect, care of the victims, coordinating medical personnel, and all the officers at the scene. My first thought was to try and separate them from the scene.
My daughter was murdered 9 years ago. It was the most heartbreaking thing, when you lose one in the family. And she had 6 children, and after we left the hospital, my husband right away said, we gotta go get the children. And so that's what we did. And Timmy was just an infant. And we had his sister, a 3-year-old, and we had a 9-year-old and 12-year-old. And it's been quite hectic, but I had my husband, and we did all right. We weren't that bad off, but we did all right. And then my husband died, and things fell apart. And then I met Becky she's through the Child Family Services, and she's a godsend, I'll tell you that. She put me in with more people, and then the school where Tim went, of course this was his last year at the school, but he had a counselor, Mrs. Pleat. And that woman, I swear, she's done so much for him, and got together, and her and Becky, and they put him in Camp Spalding. It's the first time he ever went away from home even, but he loved it. They were so good to him. And he said he learned so more, and I got a card saying that he thanked me so much for letting him go there, because he'd never done so much, because not too much I can do anymore. I'm getting old, but we do the best we can.
Timothy King. I'm 10 years old, and I'm from Bedford, New Hampshire. I was a little afraid because I thought I might get homesick at a point, but I didn't, so it makes everything a whole lot better. Didn't know that it was that easy to make friends. Usually at school I would know everybody and I wouldn't really try to make friends, but now here I'm friends with my whole cabin and I'm not scared to meet anybody here, and I just love it here.
Summer was approaching and I really wanted to find some things for Tim to do. So in doing the research, I spoke with Cindy Gaffney at Child and Family Services, and she was just, at first phone call, I felt like I'd known her my whole life, and she was so on board with doing whatever we could do for him. We put an envelope in the office on Friday, and then there was a half a day left on Monday, and in that time, we were able from staff to get all the money that we needed to cover the expenses for registration and to go shopping for clothing and items. Staff knew that he was struggling and would come to me and say, "What can I do for Tim?"
Funds are raised every year for youth who would not otherwise have the opportunity to go because of the financial situation of their families, because every kid deserves camp. And when this story came in, Cindy was telling me about the circumstances, Tim's circumstances, his family's circumstances. And we began to talk a little bit more about what other services Child and Family Services could provide. Then I learned he had a grandmother who he was living with. And I wondered whether there were services we could provide there.
We were going to comp his tuition, and before we even were able to talk about that, Lisa Pleat had gone out amongst the staff here at the Bedford Memorial School and solicited donations. It was everybody all hands on in a short amount of time to get this kid to camp and have a great experience.
A lot of kids, for their first time here at a summer camp is most of the time their first time away from home and away from their mom and their dads or their families or whoever it is that they live with. So making it easy for them, you know, giving them that feeling of like someone cares for them here and they'll always be there. That's like one of my most favorite things to do. Like, I just want to make sure every kid here has a great time. Like, I just think every kid deserves camp. Some kids who, you know, have had parents that have passed, some of them need that, like, that feeling of being loved and being cared about and like knowing that somebody's there and they're not alone. And I like how CFS, they definitely help out kids who can't always afford, like families that can't always afford to send their kids to camp. Me and my brother were one of those kids.
What was most impressive about this case is how extensive the services were. He was already receiving the care he was getting from the school system, the care he was being provided from the guidance department. We just had to jump in.
I think a lot of us home visitors look at a lot of our families like an extended family. Our program works on developing goals with families, strengthening the family unit as a whole, getting the families to work together on the resources that they have available to them. In Carol's particular family, we've connected her to home-based care, which people will come in and help her, assist her in some of the areas of cleaning her home that she can't do. We've connected Timmy to a lot of activities and sports that he didn't have access to. We helped him get scholarships for these programs. We've connected her with Southern New Hampshire Services, her fuel and energy cost. We were able to give Carol some WZID Radiothon gift cards that helped her provide a Christmas for Timmy with warm clothes and presents. New Hampshire Medicaid provides transportation for Timmy for all of his appointments.
So I've been seeing Tim for about 3 or 4 months now, just to improve kind of his ability to cope with some stressors in his life and some of the things he's been through. It's so important because trauma is so common, and it's not always talked about or recognized, and it can create barriers to otherwise very well-adjusted childhoods. You know, if you didn't get the mental health services and the access to services you need to overcome those traumas, it could be different for everyone. However, I mean, it just be a number of more roadblocks, whether it's challenges to employment, challenges to obtaining the education that they could otherwise obtain. I think every child deserves the opportunity to have the tools to overcome some of the things that they've experienced, to have a more well-adjusted and normal, whatever that means, childhood. And I think it's a privilege to be able to work with people like Tim. You know, that they come to you trusting you with very deep, deep concerns and things that may have happened that are scary. It's meaningful. It feels like, I'm doing something that is helpful and making a difference.
Biggest quality that I learned from people is you can't judge a book by its cover, because sometimes people will look different than you, but they're always super nice. They will never be disrespectful to you. They will never judge you. They won't do anything to be rude to you or make you feel bad. They'll always be there to comfort you.
We were referred to Carol and Tim by Cindy Gaffney in our communications department, as well as Deb Smith in development. We serve the elderly and folks with disabilities, young, old, from all demographics. For Carol, Tim is her priority. So that means Carol is probably taking a backside to her own health and wellness. Our goal is to keep them independent with supportive services, staying in their home for as long as they're safe, able, and want to be in their home.
We want to get everyone what they need, and that's all part of CFS. That's who we are. It happens one way or the other. I've been so blessed to work with such a bunch of dedicated individuals that everybody has the interest of the client at heart no matter what. That's how we roll at CFS. And the more we can do, the happier we are. It's the village, not just that are involved with Tim or any camper. It's the village, it's the donors that enable us to do the work that we do.
If I didn't have all the help of all these people, I don't know what I would have done. I'd have fell through the cracks probably. But he's the last one, and we're trying very hard, but my age is not helping because I can't do the things that he wants. And the Child and Family Services got things that they help. You hear so much bad in the world, and you can't believe how much good there is out there. People trying to help, and it's beautiful. I got osteoarthritis of the spine, and I've got bronchial asthma, but I keep going, and I'm going to keep fighting. As long as I get that boy, I'm going to try.
With Carol, she's only 80 years old, so with the help of the home care department, I would love to see her 5 years from now still active in Tim's life. It's just such an integral piece to our success in this agency. And everyone that I have met in my 9 years, the key is that we all want to help. It takes a village.
One person can't do it, or the city government can't do it, or the state or the federal government. We all kind of have to team together and look out for each other and take care of those that need the help. You know, it's not something you can forget or make go away, but any sort of case that you do with kids always, you know, sticks with you.
As a professional, truly, Child and Family Services is a gift to me. It really is. For years, I've been looking for help for this family. I could cry. So thank you. I was talking to a colleague, and I was telling her this wonderful story of how it's really working out so great for Tim. And she said, hey, we've got this other student in Bedford. So I'll be talking to Child and Family Services later. The camp this year, I think, was a real turning point for him. Being opened up to a world of experience, for me, is huge for him to have. But we've already found out he can go to camp next year again and have some more of those experiences where things are hard when you try something new and you keep at it. And that's something I'm really working with him on, to understand that it's really hard work and perseverance that get people their goals.
You, Tim, I hope you are having an awesome time at camp and are making more friends than ever and are getting better at swimming, football, and basketball. I can't wait to hear all about it. Sincerely, Connor. P.S. When you get back from camp, my mom said we can maybe, never mind, you can have a play date or sleepover.
Being connected towards a kid like Tim, definitely I feel like I want to have a good impact on him, something he can leave camp with and like have with him for the rest of his life, not just like for his time here at camp, something he can take and use in like the real world outside of camp.
A perfect world would have to be everyone is peaceful, they're kind, they're never hurting someone's feelings, and everyone would be fair to everyone another.
My wish for you, Timmy, is that you realize how many people out there love and support you. And I'm very proud of you and where you've come. And I hope that you keep your head up and know that you can do anything that you look that you put your mind to?
I just wish for him to have the life he wants, I think, and there will always be some challenges, but I think to at least equip him with the skills to be able to make what he wants to happen. I think that's my wish for him. Yeah, I see a possibility of a bright future for Tim.
I believe it's important to show kids what I call the other side of the story. I want him to see the other side of the story. And I want him to see all the things out there in the world that he can be a part of. And he knows, he knows he's smart, and he knows he's strong. And I just want him to keep remembering those things.
I would tell him not to let the actions of one person, one horrible person, define him or his life. Tell him to find a dream and go get it. And sometimes it just takes one person to recognize in a kid that there is an opportunity to be something different, to be better.
Tim, I am so proud of you and so happy that you've been able to get these experiences. You know how much I believe in you. And if you keep working hard and you don't give up, you can't give up even when you don't like it. Just keep working hard and keep showing your heart and persevere, and you got this.
I would want to be either a marine biologist or a teacher.
I hope he grows up to be a good boy and a helpful boy, and I hope he learns well and makes good of himself. Timothy, I am very proud of you that you're doing well, and hope you keep doing well and grow up to be a big, strong boy. I love you very much.
Don't stop, don't give up. Don't stop, don't give up. Keep trying, you'll get it right. I will definitely remember this.